Today on DNVR Buffs Live, the Colorado Buffaloes have a new athletic director. Welcome to Boulder, Fernando Lovo. They've also got a new commitment, and we've got much more to talk about. Let's do it. Let's go,
squad. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Toyota Lounge. It's
Mr. Lovo.
DNVR Buffs Live. It's your boy, Scotty D Podcast with my guy, RK. News breaking RK.
Oh.
Is what they call Big J journalism. RK is what they call him. What up, chat? How we feeling? Hey, bro, it's our last Monday show of the year, bro.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
That is crazy to think about.
2026 is right around the corner, man. How we feeling?
Old. 2026. Damn. That's crazy.
No, for real. How was the holidays, bro? Happy holidays. Good to see you, man. I know we spent some time together this morning who people will see, but how was the weekend and whatnot?
Holiday was great. Spent some time with the family, my little niece. Like I said, well, you guys will see in a few minutes, but Bet365 took care of the family. Shout out to Shador.
Shout out.
Then, this weekend was just chilling, watching football, got a little bored, figured I might as well just break a news story. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to break the news of who the new athletic director is, which I normally don't do, but I was just, I don't know. I got the news and I was like, you know what? I'm going to post this. Why not?
Absolutely. Were you a little upset, though?
What?
That it wasn't you?
That it wasn't me.
The new
Was
AD?
that a Shaggy reference?
Hey! No, that it wasn't you. That it wasn't you breaking the news of yourself becoming Colorado's
I've got to
new
be
AD.
the first ever candidate.
Yes, exactly.
To also break the news.
For real, that's elite stuff. That's
yeah, no, I
elite
actually was pissed. Once I saw the numbers come in on what Mr. Lovo is making.
Yes.
I would have done it for half that, if not less. But I guess he's slightly more qualified than I am.
I think just a little bit. Let's get into it, though. As we've alluded to, you probably saw on the thumbnail on their headline, Colorado now has a new athletic director. His name is Fernando Lovo, Mr. Lovo. He comes to Colorado from New Mexico, where he spent this past year as New Mexico's athletic director, his first year in the role. The CU Board of Regents approved Fernando Lovo's contract to become Colorado's new athletic director this morning in a unanimous vote and unanimous approval. And Fernando Lovo, for a guy who's only 37 years old, a really young guy in this space, he has done quite a bit. He has seen quite a bit as well. Just some couple of tidbits of his resume. I mentioned he comes to Colorado from New Mexico, where he was athletic director. His experience with football in particular really stands out to me. And I tweeted out kind of his timeline related at least to football earlier today. But from 2012 to 2015, Fernando Lovo was Ohio State's football operations coordinator. Obviously, the Buckeyes also won a national championship while Lovo was there in 2014, I believe. After Ohio State, Lovo went to Houston, the Cougars, for 2 years. He was Houston's assistant AD for football operations, helped lead them or at least transition into the Big 12 where they went. Spent 5 years with the Longhorns as Texas's chief of staff for football before spending a year in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars as their chief of staff. This is a guy who is, like I said, seen a lot, done a lot for a young guy. And I think aside from his experience in football, another thing that just really makes me think this is a great hire, a home run hire, if you will, is some of the other stuff, right? The fundraising.
Yeah.
Is a big part of what he's going to be asked to do and something that he just has experience doing. At New Mexico, his 1 year there, they had a record year in fundraising. They also Lovo oversaw nearly $500 million in capital projects. So the fundraising part, again, is going to be a big part of the job, especially with this new age of college athletics and NIL and whatnot. He also has experience hiring good coaches.
Yeah.
Jason Eck was a home run hire for the New Mexico football program.
Yep.
That was made by Fernando Lovo. They also made a really good basketball hire as well. Eric Olson, who came over from UC San Diego. Hiring, fundraising, and just the last thing, like I said, just the football acumen that he has. I tweeted a video of him addressing the New Mexico football locker room after a win, and he knows how to, get a room, locked in and just excited and whatnot. So I think this is a really great hire. From what I know, he checks a lot of the boxes that people have been looking for and asking for. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's funny because sometimes I think the term young gets thrown around too much. Like, we need to young this, young that.
Yeah.
But there's two places where I really felt like Colorado did need to get younger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on offense.
For sure.
Meaning bringing in someone innovative and creative and young.
Definitely.
On offense with someone who understands the new wave of football.
Yeah.
They did that with Brendan Marion. And then I really felt like with this athletic director hire, they needed someone young who has more grown up in this era of college football.
Yes.
Not that Rick George wasn't abreast to what was going on in the change of college football, but it's just natural when you've been around college football as long as him or anyone else who's been doing this for a long time has, for this to feel like a massive change, to feel like everything that you knew has been pulled out from under you. Just like Nick Saban, who decided, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't the college football that I did. Well, this is the college football that Fernando Lovo has kind of grown up in, even though it's been changing over the last, 10 years.
Definitely.
That's the entire time that he's been in here. So all he's ever known is change.
Yeah.
And I really like that because it tells me that he's not going to be resistant to any of the stuff that's happening. I think a lot of us fans of college football are resistant to it. But when you're in it, you cannot be resistant to it.
No.
You cannot be resistant to change. You have to be thinking of it at all times and ahead of the curve when it comes to change. Not constantly reacting and kind of trying to wish it weren't true as long as you possibly can before you finally decide you have to adapt. So I really like this hire. If you talk to people around New Mexico's program, everyone there really loved him and is certainly sad to see him go.
For sure.
But I think most people, obviously anytime someone leaves, there's going to be fans who are bitter.
Yeah.
But most people are happy for him and also understand that he's getting a 3x raise, which is something that just about anyone would leave their job for.
Definitely.
So this is exciting to me. This is really exciting. And my last reaction when I saw he's 37 is like, damn, we got to break bread. Like, he's just one of the guys. Like, come hang out with us at the DNVR bar. Let's have a couple beers and watch football and chop it up.
I think that might happen. Before too long. But I mean, yeah, you said a lot of the good points, and I think too. I mean, I mentioned the fundraising. Like, I mentioned the record year in New Mexico fundraising. I saw somebody else point out as well that the university got like funding from the actual state of New Mexico for the first time, maybe ever, or at least in a long time, and that was largely due to Lovo's work, again, with the lawmakers and whatnot, to give that university the state funding that a lot of the other state universities around the country get. You mentioned a pay raise that Lovo's going to get from New Mexico to Colorado. Lovo signed a 5-year deal with Colorado that's going to pay him around $1.2 million per year, plus incentives. He's going to be the highest paid athletic director in CU history. We've heard a lot of that in the last few years of highest paid whatever in Colorado history. A lot of fundraising incentives, which is what we talked about as well. And I think it's smart to have incentives in Fernando Lovo's contract that say, if you reach this benchmark, you're going to get compensated for that. And it's kind of, broken down. $25 million is kind of the baseline number in fundraising for an incentive in Lovo's contract to kick in. The first incentive is for him to raise $25 million before June 20th, 2026. So pretty much by this summer. And if they're able to do that, he's in line for a $200,000 incentive, which is obviously dope because, again, it's not just somebody you saying that's going to be part of the job description. It's like, no, you got to go out and do it. And if you do, and you do a good job, you'll be compensated as such. And I just think that gives another reason for him to do what this program really needs. A lot of people have been clamoring for, right? Coach Prime has even alluded to it too, where he's asked about, if you want to get everything you want to get done in the portal, as we sit here, as the portal opens in about 4 days, Coach Prime said, well, you need money to do a lot of those things. And Fernando Lovo strikes me as a go-getter, somebody who's going to open up avenues and open up doors that might not have been opened up previously to get an influx of cash and money into this program, specifically for the football program. Because as we know, if you don't got a football program that's, generating revenue, it's going to be hard, and the rest of the sports and the athletic department are going to feel that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's someone in the chat who said they worked together with him, and they use that same phrase. That's the number one phrase that I've heard about Fernando Lovo over the last 3 days since I started hearing about him coming to Boulder, and it's go-getter. That is what every person I've talked to about him says. Go-getter, go-getter, go-getter. And that is exactly what you need to be a fundraiser. Sure. I look at fundraising. Well, I see it from two ways. Obviously, as a company, we have had to fundraise. So I've seen what that takes. Mm-hmm. And then I also look at, like our sales staff who has to go out and kind of talk to advertisers about what we do here and why you should invest in or I guess, in a partnership where we talk about your products on our shows.
For sure.
And the value in that. It takes a very specific personality to go do that.
Definitely.
And it's not easy because a lot of times you're going to get told no. And you have to be the type of person who doesn't like internalize that. And it's like, you just go, all right,
cool.
Thanks. I'll come back to you.
For sure.
Because we're not done here. One no is not going to suffice around here. And I loved the clip that's kind of been going around of Fernando Lovo talking about how he loves the challenge of fundraising because it is certainly challenging. And so I just really think that, again, I love Rick George. We've had a great relationship. He's been great to us, and he's done a lot of great things at CU. But I do think that the new blood and new ideas and new leadership style could be really positive for an athletic program that, to put it bluntly, has not been all that successful.
Yeah, for sure. That's straight up. And you mentioned Rick George, and obviously we love Rick George. He is going to remain at CU through the end of the school year, so at least through the end of the spring semester. So Rick George and Fernando Lovo are gonna be able to kind of work together, work in tandem for the next 5 to 6 months as Lovo transitions into this role full time, and as Rick George transitions into kind of an overseer type of role, I would say, in the athletic department as well. So that's going to be cool to have them kind of be working side by side.
I would almost call it more of like a consultant.
I think that's probably a more accurate word.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So yeah, shout out to Fernando Lovo. It's a lot of news. New OC, new AD.
Well, I was thinking
new coaches. I mean,
over the last 5 years, new president of the university, new chancellor, new athletic director, new head coach. That's everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
There's all the things that can change in terms of the leadership from the perspective that I look at.
For sure.
Colorado which is a athletics program.
No doubt.
That's all the things that can possibly change. I mean, it's even like odd to me, like reading like, oh, President Schwartz, or Chancellor. I can't even remember. It's President. No, it's Chancellor Schwartz.
Okay.
I don't know. Now my head's all scrambled. That's how much change.
It's new people,
been. That's how much change there's been. That it, you're seeing the statements. I'm so used to seeing it from like Chancellor DeStefano and all that stuff, and it's all new, which I think can be a very positive thing. And yeah, President Solomon, Chancellor Schwartz. Everyone from what I've heard, all of these pillars are on the same page when it comes to athletics.
Got to be.
And that's really, really important because there are schools around the country right now. We're hearing about like MAC schools who are potentially considering stepping down a level, so it doesn't cost them as much to run football.
That's sad
because they can't run a successful football program. And now with the revenue sharing and all of that, like they're not going to be able to pull it off. So if you don't have leadership in your university who believes in football specifically,
right,
things could be getting really weird right now. So the fact that, you know, there are all these new pillars, but there's a understanding between them of what a successful athletic program, not just football, but obviously football leads the way.
Yeah.
What a successful football and athletic program can do for university is really important.
And that's why I pointed out at the top Lovo's experience and background specifically with football. Like, I don't know him personally, but he strikes me as a football guy, you know, first and foremost. And I think that's what this athletic department needed at the head. I think Rick George was a football guy. Obviously, he has dabbled in other sports as well in his past, but he strikes me as a football guy. And I think this program with Coach Prime being the head football coach needed one of those guys. And just one last point on fundraising before we hit a break, like mention the record year in New Mexico. If you're able to fundraise to that level at New Mexico,
yeah,
well, what can you do at Colorado? You know, with the backing of Coach Prime and, you know, his everything he has going on behind the scenes and whatnot with publicity and whatnot. So I think this is a great hire, a great fit. But let's take a little break, hear from our friends over at Taco Bell, man. We got some exciting news to share, some news that you've probably already heard by now, but it's worth repeating, man. The quesarito, the iconic quesarito, is officially back at Taco Bell for a limited time, and I got some personal news to share. I have officially tried my first quesarito. Y'all will see more about that later, but best believe it was fire. The Buffs boxes, unfortunately, have sold out at Colorado Taco Bells, but we still want to hear from you guys, the fans. Which student athletes would you like to see featured on the Collector Cups for the 2026 football season? Put your comments in the chat. I know I got a couple ideas, but let us know who you think deserves to be featured next year. Live Moss at Taco Bell. There are just so many good options right now. Whether you're looking for the quesarito, you know, whether you're looking for that Cantina bowl, which I saw on the menu again today, and it brought back memories of just how fire that is. So go check it out. Go check out our friends over at Taco Bell and Live Moss.
And also, check out our friends over at Bet365. I've got to give a huge thank you to our friends over at Bet365 because they took care of my whole family for Christmas this year. Everyone at Christmas was like, damn, you really splurged. I'm like, yeah, well, Shador and Bet365 are really the ones to thank. I just merely delivered the gifts that they delivered to me. And that's the best part about being over at Bet365 because you've always got a chance to make something special happen, which I was lucky enough to do just a few weeks ago. But no matter what, it's always more fun when you got a little skin in the game. So get over to Bet365 and use the code DNVR365 for $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose, get over to Bet365 so you can get in on that awesome deal. Remember to use the code DNVR365. Of course, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back talking Fernando Lovo a little bit more. I just wanted to read this statement. I believe his first public statement as Colorado's new athletic director. This is Fernando Lovo. Quote, I'm honored to join this incredible group of student athletes, coaches, and staff at a tremendous institution that strives for excellence and espouses the right values. I love the word espouses. We are in a time of extraordinary change in college athletics, and Colorado should lead the way in shaping what comes next. I look forward to helping our student athletes succeed in every aspect of their lives while bringing championships to Buff Nation. I'm sincerely grateful to the CU Board of Regents, President Solomon, Chancellor Schwartz for this incredible opportunity to lead this iconic department and its storied programs. I'm also honored to take over leadership of CU Boulder Athletics from Rick George, one of the legendary athletic directors in the country. End quote from Fernando Lovo. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's good that he didn't confuse the president and the chancellor like I did.
Smart man.
Smart. He's got his bosses straight.
For real.
One last thing that I wanted to say on this is just about how much room for growth I think there is from a fundraising standpoint. Now, I don't know where he got these numbers, but this is from everyone's favorite pessimist, Silver Buff. Shout out Silver Buff.
Shout out.
He said the Buff Club had 7,200 members this year, which is up from 5,800 in 2022. And it's $100 to become a Buff Club member, which is like essentially the way to become a donor. Now there's like the Flatiron Society, which is like the upper tier donors and all of this, but 7,200 members is really small. Really small.
That is.
If
Especially
you think
for a
about
school
it,
like Colorado, you would think.
yeah, if you think about it, like every time we go live, more people watch this show than that. And so there's a ton of room for growth, I think, in terms of growing the donor base. And it's something that we've talked about a lot on this show, whether it was the 5430 or whatever it may be. Like,
Yeah.
I really think for Colorado to get anywhere near the top schools in terms of fundraising, which like we're not going to be Texas Tech or BYU or Missouri or Ole Miss, but to get into that next tier below that, I think we really have to be more successful in the grassroots, smaller donations, because I just don't think that we're going to like turn over a rock one day and just find a billionaire who's like, okay, sure, I'll start writing checks to help you win, unless Mr. Beast decides to choose Colorado. But I really think there's a lot of room for growth. I mean, what's to stop you from getting that to 10,000, 15,000?
For real.
50,000 people who are willing to, donate some money every year. So I think that if that number is correct, I think that could be really, really beneficial and something that I don't feel like should be that hard to grow.
Why do you think that number is that number?
I've said it a lot on this show. I just think that there's a real like bystander effect in college football and college athletics, where it's just like, hey, like, yeah, like I've got money, but I don't have it like that. Like
somebody will do it.
Yeah, I don't have enough money to just like carry the program.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone's kind of just hoping that someone else will carry the program. Yeah. Whereas it's like, I don't know. And it's whatever is available to someone. Like, can you give $5,000?
For sure.
If 7,000 people give $5,000, that's a lot.
That would help.
But I don't think that's what you're at right now. It's $100 to join. So it's probably most of those people are giving the $100, maybe a little more when they get something in the mail that says like, hey, don't forget to take care of the Buffs. So I don't know.
Lovo at New Mexico grew the overall operating budget of the department by 17.6% from 2025 to 2026. They had record marks in ticket sales, multimedia rights, concessions, trademark, and licensing revenue, along with that record year in fundraising that I mentioned. It's going to be a part of the job, and this is somebody who it doesn't seem like they're asking him to do something that he hasn't already been doing at a high level. Yeah. Which I think it just makes for a perfect transition.
Absolutely. I think the only like negativity I really saw around this hire from people was like, oh, like you're getting someone from New Mexico. Like he only has 1 year of experience. And I guess I don't know what the expectation was. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's that likely that you are going to poach an AD from a school that would be considered above Colorado. Right. For sure. So you had to go lower. It's just like the transfer portal right now, right?
Definitely. It's exactly
You're not getting starters from Georgia.
No, right.
You might be able to get backups from Georgia. Yeah. Or you can get starters from New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And if you were able to get a really productive starter from New Mexico, like Devin Dampier, well, now you might have something when they go up a level. So to me, that's what Colorado did here, is they are betting on success from Fernando Lovo at a lower level, and they're also getting like a young up-and-comer. Exactly. And you're betting on getting him on the come up.
I think where I thought you were going to go with that is like, I saw any of the negative stuff. Like, it seems like a lot of like what I saw with Marion for the negativity. Oh, he's just been jumping around. Like, he's been here 1 year, and obviously Lovo's just spent the 1 year in New Mexico. But it's like, you don't get promoted unless you're doing a hell of a job at that spot, which is what I think happened to Lovo. And obviously, this is not somebody, again, although he's 37 years old, has been at Ohio State, has been at Texas, has spent the year in the NFL, has been a part of national championship level football programs. So it remains to be seen. He's got to go out and actually do the job. But as far as we know right now, I think he checks a lot of the boxes. Somebody mentioned in the chat or asked in the chat where Lovo was from. Lovo is a native of Miami, but was born in New Orleans.
Wow.
So that's interesting. But yeah.
Some football places.
Football guy.
Yeah.
Go-getter and a football guy.
And then another thing I saw is like, oh, well, he'll be at Miami in a couple years. Or he'll take the next opportunity at Texas. And it's like, maybe.
He only does that if he does a great job here.
Exactly.
Only does
Same reason why it's okay if you lose assistant coaches or whatever it may be. Someone's got to do a really good job to get elevated. But also, I don't know Fernando Lovo yet. I think I will soon. But it's hard to find a better place for like that level, whatever you want to call it, like a front office job than Boulder, Colorado. Like you have a young family that you're raising. Like he's gonna be hard pressed to find a better place than Boulder, Colorado to do it. And so there's a chance. Like this is part of why you make this bet on a young person.
Definitely,
there's a chance he could do this for the next 30 years.
Exactly, and you found your guy for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And I think Andre brings up a good point. The DC, the OC, the AD, all young guys who have been hired in the last couple of years that I think, if on the same page, can really supercharge this thing, at least from a football perspective, forward in the right direction. So I like that a lot.
And then another kind of just addressing the things that I've seen going around is like, oh, well, he's coming in here. He's going to run prime right out of town. So, no, that's not what's going to happen. But I think it is interesting anytime new leadership comes in for everyone who is inside of that department.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is less about Coach Prime than it is really just about everyone else. But like everyone who works in that department is now like on their P's and Q's.
Sit up on my seat a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. The same way like the players were when Coach Prime walked in. You know, it's like anytime new leadership comes in, everyone's kind of okay. What's going on here? But again, going back to Coach Prime, I don't think he's like needs an extra push to be dialed in to want to win. So I don't know if that applies to him as much. But it is interesting.
And I think you want that. I think that's part of the reason you go for a younger guy, maybe even out of box higher a little bit, is to try to shake things up in an athletic department that is maybe got stuck in doing it its way for a long time, maybe falling into some complacency. And I think that's, again, part of the reason why you make a hire like this is to shake the globe a little bit and to see what falls out and to see how you can improve and get better. So I think that checks a lot of those boxes. So I'm excited to see what Fernando Lovo, Mr. Lovo, does in Boulder, Colorado. Should we take a quick break here?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's take a quick break, hear from our friends, our good friends over at End Credit Union, man. Shout out to End Credit Union, man. Y'all heard us talk about End Credit Union and their Broncos checking product and all those perks that come with it, man. You can bank like a Bronco with our friends over at End Credit Union, man. These perks, man, you can get game day discounts at Empower Field. You can get a chance to win Broncos tickets. You can get a chance to win exclusive merch as well, and even more perks. Listen to this one right here. If you are interested in signing up, End Credit Union is giving you $200. You heard that right. $200 are going to be dropped right into your account after meeting just a few easy requirements. And maybe my favorite part about End Credit Union is these dope debit cards that come with it, man. You can get a Broncos branded one. You can get a Bo Nix one. You can get a PS2 Patrick Surtain throwback card that is also all available at service centers as of this month. They're pretty much like collectibles. So the perks, if you want to get in and bank like a Bronco, head over to ENT.com/DNVR to learn more. It requires a $100 deposit and activation of debit card within 30 days of account opening. Shout out to End Credit Union.
And shout out to the GOATs, Toyota, the absolute best cars on the road. Scotty, We drove up to Boulder today. You hopped in the Toyota. You got to love it.
You have to. So smooth. I mean, the weather control in there. It's a little chilly outside. It's actually feeling like Colorado today, but the heat was on point.
And we'll have a video coming out of what we were doing up in Boulder. But you guys will see from the inside of my Toyota. Like, I'm not capping about the cars that I drive. I really do love my Toyota. I'll never drive anything else, to be honest, other than another Toyota, because I'm that committed to the brand. I just love it. I was so sick of fixing my car and never have to do that with my Toyota. So if you're sick of fixing your car and you want a reliable car, get over to a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of Colorado Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
Welcome back to the Toyota Lounge. Buff Nation got a Christmas present the other day. A nice one, a big one. Joseph Peko committed to Colorado on Christmas Day. He's going to be joining his father, Domata Peko, who's obviously Colorado's defensive line coach, his big brother, Domata Peko Jr. from the JUCO ranks as well. Peko was originally slated to announce his commitment sometime next month, I believe, at the Polynesian Bowl. But he decided to give, like I said, Buff Nation a Christmas present, and we welcome him. Obviously, we've talked about Joseph Peko a good amount on this show this summer. 6'3", 310 pounds, your true kind of nose tackle, interior defensive lineman who is just a problem in the middle of the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. Had 18 other Power 4 offers aside from Colorado, schools like Miami, Michigan, North Carolina, Oregon, UCLA, USC, Washington. Visited Colorado earlier this summer in June. Took a few other unofficial visits, but he is locked in. He is now Colorado's 14th commit in the 2026 recruiting class. Coach Prime said he was aiming for 15 to 18, or up to 14 now. I assume another 1 or 2, maybe 3 will trickle in before official signing day. But that's a nice ad. Obviously, the first defensive lineman, true defensive lineman, aside from Peko Jr. at edge in this 2026 recruiting class. That's a nice ad. Shout out to Joseph Peko. Shout out the whole Peko family.
What are his specs?
6'3", 310.
Yeah. He got the Peko genes.
Yeah. He got the build. He got the build for sure.
This is great. It's really funny because our last show before Christmas, we were talking about the headline, and I was like, haven't we gotten like commits on Christmas before? Like, could we do something about, can they get another Christmas commit?
For sure.
Something like that. We decided to go a different direction. And then, of course, it happens on Christmas. This is an area where I really think the Buffs could be dominant. And that is the sons of former players.
Yes.
Because I just feel like there's a chance that we could corner that market as the prime era goes on.
Hell yeah.
And obviously there are several players who are sons of former players on the team now, but I think you could get even better, especially because those guys who played in the league know what it takes. And they know that Coach Prime knows what it takes. And obviously in this case, Domata Peko's on the staff as well, so that makes it easier.
Yeah.
But I really love having the players who come from that lineage on the team. And if you told me we could have all 85 scholarship players be sons of former NFL players, I would sign up for it in a heartbeat, because they're starting at it from a younger age. They're starting to, I think of myself playing football as a kid. Like I'm just out there playing.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like learning the game or anything like that. It was just like see ball, hit ball. Like
definitely.
Maybe I understand some of the playbook. Like from a young age, these guys are learning from their parents how important it is. They're learning like technique.
Yes.
And all of that stuff. That's you talk to like Pat Surtain, and he talks about what his dad did for him in that regard.
And by the time they're freshmen in college, it's part of their DNA.
They've already had it.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, you just like watch a bowl game this week. I guarantee you some player whose dad played in the league will make a play and they'll be like, yeah, he's just like a real heady player. Like,
definitely.
He understands the game. So those guys, they they just have a little extra preparation for this that I love. And so I'm excited to have both of the Peko brothers on the roster.
100%. And I wouldn't put it past either of them. Certainly Domata Peko Jr., who has already been playing junior college football for a couple of years. I wouldn't put it past either of them to be potentially impactful right away here in 2026, especially with the departures on the defensive line, both via the transfer portal and guys just graduating / out of eligibility. I look at the list of guys on the there are none. There are straight up 0 defensive tackles on the roster right now.
Yeah.
0. There's obviously some edge guys, right? You got Quincy Wiggins, you got Nikhil Webb-Walker, Peko Jr., London Merritt. That's the list, though.
I know of at least one who's committed.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great ad. I also like to the states that have been targeted recruiting side. I feel like it has really increased, right? In this 2026 class, again, only 14 guys, but you got commits from Florida, California, Mississippi, Texas, Colorado, Georgia, Louisiana, and Washington. Like, it seems like this net has spread out in terms of where they are looking and where they're landing guys from. And again, if that California pipeline, that Polynesian pipeline can continue to grow with the success of guys like the Pekos, that will only be beneficial to this program moving forward. So love to have Peko on board. I know a lot of people out there have been waiting on that one.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it there, and I think it's one of the reasons why you hear like national people say they expect more from Colorado in their recruiting. Mm-hmm. But you're seeing the microcosm of it there, which is that Colorado is now a nationally recognized program, and so they can go anywhere to recruit.
Yeah.
In the past, it was like you have California, Texas, and Colorado. Like, that's really where you're getting the majority of your players, and it was always like a surprise if you got a player from Florida
for sure
or Georgia. And now Colorado has the luxury of being able to walk into any school in the country, and everyone knows who they are.
For sure.
And you're going to get the treatment of a nationally, recognized program. So it is something that I think as the focus shifts slowly but surely to have more heavily towards high school players, that Colorado will be able to use to its advantage.
I think so too. Added Peko, but you lost a couple of guys to the portal since the last time we have been live as well. Dallan Hayden announced his intention to enter the transfer portal the day after Christmas. Spent 2 years at Colorado, obviously, after transferring in from Ohio State. Was the Buffs' third leading rusher this past season behind Michael Welch and Caden Salter. Seemed to kind of really get going at the end of the year, but through 2 years, the consistency was just never there. And I know that's not really a Dallan Hayden problem. Like, that, you can say that for all the running backs in the entire running game.
There, yeah.
Right. So he has 1 year of eligibility left, Dallan does, and he's going to spend it elsewhere. So wishing him the best.
Yeah. Best of luck to Dallan. I kind of had a feeling there would be close to a full overhaul of the running back room just because of the change in offense,
right,
and the different things that Brennan Marion is going to be looking for from his running backs.
No doubt.
And it might not even be the fact that those guys can't do it the way that he wants them to.
Yeah.
But more that he has his eyes set on other people.
Exactly.
That he thinks will be better suited for it. So I think you're going to see more change there.
As we're talking about running backs, before we get into a couple other portal entries from Colorado, this came out a couple of days ago from Nielsen Sports, an NIL agency. They have reported that one of their clients, Tristan Morgan, a D2 running back, is receiving interest from a handful of schools, Colorado being one of them. This Tristan Morgan had over 900 yards, 7 touchdowns this past year. Again, the schools that are listed here that have shown interest, Colorado certainly is the highest caliber of names, so to speak, if you catch my drift. So again, this is coming straight from his agency who is representing him. So it'll be interesting to see. And I do think that that's going to be kind of maybe not all D2 guys, but I do think that's going to be kind of the mode for a good portion of the guys that they bringing guys up a level from whether they be FCS, G5, assuming that what they have put on tape makes the recruiting staff believe that that can be replicated here at the Power 4 level.
Yeah, and more specifically, Brendan Marion.
Exactly.
Because he is incredibly hands-on when it comes to recruiting and scouting. And I feel so comfortable in that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's a player that I've never heard of and I never would have
for sure
heard of if he didn't pop up in this light. But because I have a lot of belief in Coach Marion and what he does and how he does it and why he does it, I'm like, all right, he must see something. He must see something and say, all right, I want that. And obviously, he's working in closely with Coach Box and the entire recruiting staff saying, maybe he's saying, hey, look for a guy that can do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And then they come back with a guy like that. Like, what do you think of this? You know, and like that's just how hands-on coaches work in college football. And so I'm really excited to see who he goes out and finds and who the staff goes out and finds from a recruiting perspective and how they work in cahoots to bring him here and kind of like unleash him. I can't imagine how fun it must be to be Brendan Marion and have like 100% conviction in what your identity is as an offense.
For sure.
And then just going out and like turning on film and being like, can this guy do what I need him to do? And maybe sometimes it's like, oh, nope, like he doesn't block when he doesn't have the ball. I don't want it. And then eventually you just get to a guy and you're like,
there it is.
I need that guy in a Colorado uniform running my offense. That's just got to be so fun.
Especially if it's not a guy who is heralded, right?
Yes.
Who might not be a big name. And that when you were telling that, it made me think about even like Sean Payton with like Bo Nix. Like Bo Nix wasn't somebody that the entire league was clamoring over. But Sean Payton saw something about Bo Nix was like, he can run my system. He can do what I'm going to ask him to do.
Facts.
And he's my guy now. And I think that is what makes a coach like Brendan Marion so valuable because he knows what he's looking for. And he's going to find it. And it might not be in a big name or coming from a big school, but he's going to find it. And the trust in that is massive. Buffs News Weekly mentioned it here. Get your thoughts on your guy as well. Entering the portal again. Gavin Sawchuk, Florida State running back, started his career at Oklahoma. He is back in the portal. He is obviously from the great state of Colorado. Totaled 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns in his career. Do you think a return to the Box State is possible? Would you like to see that, RK?
Where's this Box State thing coming from?
Well, what you mean? Ain't that literally a nickname for the state of Colorado?
Not as long as...
What?
I mean, I hear you say it. I hear Jake say it. I heard Corey Phillips say it.
No, that's definitely a thing. I've heard that when I got... Because, you know, it's literally shaped like a box.
Yeah, we know that.
And that's why they call it that. No, I've definitely heard that before. Like, that's a literal nickname. I mean...
Yeah, so like me and Alyssa have lived here our whole life.
Colorado. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
So, looking at Gavin Sawchuk, straight out of the Box State, 2023 at Oklahoma was his best year, and he was pretty awesome. He goes for 744 yards on 6.2 yards per carry and 9 touchdowns to go along with, I guess not much in the receiving game. So total 838 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns, but on 6.3 yards per touch. And then his first year at Oklahoma, he also had 6.3 yards per touch. This year at Florida State, so then last year at Oklahoma, he didn't do much, and then I think he might have been hurt. And then this year at Florida State, he goes for 607 total yards and once again 9 touchdowns. He's productive.
Very much so.
And I would love to hear what Brendan Marion thinks, but just from the eye test, I think he would fit as kind of one of the bigger backs in that system.
Obviously, you got Trackhawk, potentially Simeon Price, Michael Welch, maybe Cam Michael if he stays in the running back room in terms of scholarship players in that running back room. How many do you think they add at that position via the portal?
Running back? 4.
4. I think it's a solid number.
Maybe
I probably wouldn't have got the win that high, but yeah, I was going to say maybe like 2, 3. But it's going to be interesting because What's up? Go ahead.
I was just basing it off of the information that I already have and what I think will happen additionally.
For sure.
So maybe it is 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of 1. I think 3 is the right number. Because you want multiple guys who have either already played in this offense or have the skill set, have shown the skill set on tape that that they're gonna, transition and fit well into this offense as well. So, and as I mentioned before, right, these guys like Micah and Trackhawk and Simeon Price, it's gonna be a learning curve for all these guys learning this new offense, an offense that they have quite literally probably never ever run before in their life. So it's gonna be a learning curve for some of those guys, and the more guys that I think you can get that maybe came from Sac State or just have played in the offense, the more you can get of those guys, the better. But we had a couple other portal injuries from Colorado as well over the weekend, in addition to Dallan Hayden.
Official prediction is 3 running backs.
I like that. I'm going to co-sign that. Samuel Okunlola also announced his intention to enter the transfer portal over the weekend.
Sacks.
Spent 2 years at Colorado in Boulder. Had a really good 2024 year. I want to say he was top 3 on the team in sacks. But we obviously didn't see him in the field at all this year. He was injured. And he is going elsewhere. He still has 2 years of eligibility. We wish Sammy Sacks the best, man, because he, back in 2024, looked really promising. And when he originally committed with those 3 years of eligibility, he kind of seemed like a player who would be around for a while and maybe turn into a cornerstone player. But injuries happen and decisions got to be made. So we wish Sammy Sacks none but the best as well.
Yeah. One of the of a few cases this year that were just weird. Like, we just never really heard from him, saw him. Mm-hmm. He was banged up early.
Yep.
And then it just felt like he never, like, reemerged from that injury.
For sure.
So it's a bummer. And I think another thing that's just like so common in college football, in this wave that we're in now, like,
definitely,
if a guy doesn't play during a year, even if it's for injuries, it's just like fresh slate somewhere else.
Yeah, and you can't blame him. You can't blame guys who do that. Injuries suck, man. But we wish him the best. Just about a little bit right before we went live, Reginald Hughes announced his intention to enter the NCAA transfer portal. I kind of thought that Reggie was out of eligibility, but it looks like he's going to enter the portal because who knows what's going on with eligibility anymore and how many years guys have left. So Reggie Hughes obviously came into the year as one of Colorado's starting linebacker, did not finish that way, had certainly some rough spots in the middle of the season. But he's going elsewhere for potentially his final year of eligibility. And yeah, so like when he committed here, his bio at Colorado said he joins Colorado with 1 year to play one. How does he have another year?
This is exactly what happened with Nikhai Hill-Green.
For sure. I really don't get this. But again, I know Reggie played JUCO before, so I don't know if that factors into it all, but I don't know.
I think that, like, if he wanted to, Max Crosby could just, like, show up at Alabama and play, and, like, the NCAA wouldn't know what to do. Just stop him.
Well.
So I'm pretty sure you can just do whatever you want now.
I think that's a perfect segue, bro. Because that's quite literally what's kind of going on right now.
Yes, dude.
Particularly in basketball. So this came up Christmas Eve, right? 7-foot center James Nagy, the number 31 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, has committed to Baylor.
No.
The 21-year-old big man, who again was drafted by the NBA 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
In 2023, is been granted 4 years of eligibility and is going to join Baylor for the second half of the season.
Like I said.
And it's not just him. How about this?
For the second half of the season, too. Look,
mid-season. They get a mid-season editions now, gang. How about this one?
So he never played. That's what happened is he never went to college.
Correct.
Okay.
20-year-old Spanish guard Lucas Langarita has committed to Utah and will join the roster as a mid-season addition. Hey, and these are two teams that Colorado going to have to play this year in the Big 12. You know what I'm saying?
Grown-ass men joining the team mid-season.
Who have played. I saw a dude who played in the G League against Wemby a couple years ago is now back in college.
Yeah.
Because of this. And there's just no rules. And I saw a statement, the Baylor basketball coach, what's his name? Scott Drew. Basically had a statement. It was like, hey, we don't make the rules.
Yeah.
That was his quote. We don't make the rules.
Yeah.
If we're allowed to do it, we're going to do it. And this was something that I saw. This is going to be happening. This is a hypothetical, obviously. Najee, the first guy who's going to Baylor. James Najee has an 18-point, 18 rebound, 6 block game against Colorado in early February. The Knicks leverage his big game and include him as a trade chip for a win-now deadline piece. That rebuilding team now wants to use Najee, so now Baylor is out of a big man headed into March. So again, he was drafted, so the team that drafted him still have his draft rights. Exactly right. What are we doing? What are we doing? And again, Baylor and Utah just got...
Who has his draft rights?
I can find it quick. It's the Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Knicks.
So what's to stop Tad Boyle from, calling up the Knicks?
Nothing.
Being like, hey, can you sign this dude to a 10-day so I don't have to play him?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing is stopping you from doing that. This is crazy.
Again, we need leadership so badly in college athletics.
Yes.
Because I don't blame Baylor.
No, you
for doing this. Use every loophole imaginable to try to win games. That's your job's on the line for it.
Literally.
But it couldn't. I mean, we all knew back in the day, like when J.R. Smith goes directly to the NBA, like okay, he's done.
Foregoing your option to
go to college. Now for these guys, for these guys who are like going straight to the G League or whatever,
yeah,
it hasn't worked for a lot of them.
No.
And so for them, I'm also kind of like, oh, this is cool. Like you can go like develop a little more. Hopefully get an education out of it.
Yeah.
Like that's great. But there has to be a line drawn somewhere. Or else, like I said, Max Crosby could just be like, I'm pissed at the Raiders. I'm actually going to go back and play for Eastern Washington, where he came from?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to play another year there just because I can. Let me rack up 50 sacks. Like obviously that's not going to happen, but I'm just saying like.
Slippery slope?
Yeah, there has to be a line drawn somewhere.
At what point do we stop this and say, all right, this is getting out of hand?
Like, can the Buffs get Deron Holmes? He's not playing for the Nuggets.
Right. I think he only used 1 year in college, right?
I don't know how many you used, but...
I think, yeah. Because he was at Dayton. I believe he's at Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. You know what else is crazy? Michigan got a new head coach.
This is...
Kyle Whittingham.
Talk about tripping and falling upwards.
How much of an upgrade from Sharon Moore is it to Kyle Whittingham, in your estimation?
I hate that I have to say good things about Kyle Whittingham. It's massive. It's so big. And, like, Michigan has this, like, scandalous thing happen.
Right.
And all the while, Utah is stupid enough to push out the best coach in their program's history.
Right.
And Michigan just happens to like look on the ground and be like, oh, what?
Okay.
Like really, really, really good football coach who knows how to operate a program at the highest level is just available for no reason? Sure, we'll take him.
It's crazy, man.
After striking out on Kenny Dillingham and whoever else
they
might have gone after, it's pretty wild.
Utah, Morgan Scalley better be a great coach. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
He better be a great head coach, I don't
think the football gods are going to allow that.
It's crazy, man, because I think what really happened was going into last season, Whittingham was probably got one more in me. And they were like, okay.
Did you see his quote where he was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, like Utah started asking me all these questions about like how long until I retired, and I kind of just like fell into the trap of being like, oh, like soon, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what like I said, that's what I think happened, where he was like, I got 1, maybe 2 years left, and they're like, okay, we'll plan for that. And then after the season, he was like, wait, I actually think I got maybe 4 or 5 left. And they're like, actually, we already made plans, buddy.
Yeah.
We already made other plans. And like I said, Morgan Scalley better be a great head coach, because if Kyle Whittingham goes to Michigan with a really good quarterback already in place in Bryce Underwood, and they make noise in the Big Ten immediately, and let's say Utah flounders after a solid year that they just had, they are going to look very, 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 very silly. Especially when, and this is crazy, did you see who Whittingham's bringing his DC?
It's Hill?
Yeah, from BYU.
Yeah.
BYU's defensive coordinator, Jay Hill, is following Whittingham to Michigan. So Hellboy already putting together a staff.
Yeah.
A good one.
If I were him, I'd take everyone but Scalley.
For real. I think I did see that the OC is following too. The one who came from New Mexico with Dan Pierre is following Witt to Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Here's a scary tidbit for Bryce Underwood. In the 20 years that Kyle Whittingham was the coach of Utah, he had 0 quarterbacks drafted.
Huntley won drafted? That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad.
Undrafted in 2020, Tyler Huntley.
Ooh-wee. I mean, Bryce certainly has the
That's
talent
what I'd
to
be
get
saying
drafted.
if I was like Miami or
For sure,
whoever's trying
for
to
sure.
get Bryce Underwood right now.
Like, now what proof of concept do you got that he's going to be able to help you develop? But that's weird because people talk about Whittingham like some quarterback developer. Like he's had names that we know, but more so at the college level. So that's interesting. There was this one quote that came out from Rivals, one Michigan commit about what Kyle Whittingham, quote, "I don't know nothing about him." That just made me chuckle.
The best one I had was the best one tweet I saw was when you asked for Kenny Dillingham for Christmas, but your grandparents are hard of
Bro,
hearing.
why is that literally on my screen right now? I was going to read that too.
You asked for Kenny Dillingham, you got Kyle Whittingham. Should have spoke more clearly.
Bro, it's like when they're hard of hearing.
Yeah.
It does kind of sound alike.
Or it's like when there's like a genie and you got to be like super clear about exactly what you want.
Right. That is crazy, man. But yeah, God bless him. I can't wait to hear what my boy Jake thinks about his
He's got to feel great about this.
I'm sure he does, yeah. Actually, I know
he's
does.
not a Kyle Whittingham hater like I am.
For sure.
And I'm not a hater of his abilities. I just don't like his face.
Last thing before we get up out of here, Rivals put out their top 10 transfer quarterbacks right now, currently in the portal, at least announced their attention. Do you know who's number one?
No.
Sam Lovett.
Yeah.
Here's the top 5. Sam Lovett, Drew Mestemaker, Byron Brown, Josh Hoover, and Dylan Raiola.
Man. What a talent-rich pool.
Yeah. Honestly. Honestly, I would slide Levitt back. Mestemaker would be my number one.
No.
Mestemaker's not my number one. It's partly because he's a freshman. He's 18, 19 years old.
Okay. Value, right? Yeah.
But I would just slide Levitt back like 3 spots. Like my top 3 would be Mestemaker, Byron Brown, and Josh Hoover would be my top 3, I think.
Byron Brown is sick.
He is sick.
Why
you say that about Mestemaker, though?
Well, he's not as good as Sam Lovett.
Okay, I got you.
But I wasn't thinking about the like whole value of the youth. Crazy. I mean, there are so many quarterbacks in the portal. It used to just be like if you don't have a quarterback, you just don't have a quarterback, and you just
got to figure it out.
Now you can just you just find a quarterback anytime you want.
And I didn't even mention 6-10, Brennan Sorsby.
Like, remember all those years where Alabama would like scrape their way to the national championship with just like some scrub at quarterback who wasn't even that good, but he just managed the game the way that Saban wanted to and handed it off to Derrick Henry or Mark Ingram enough times that they just won and their defense was elite.
2 of them are coming to my mind right now. I can't remember their names, but I see their faces.
John David Wilson or some shit.
Something like that for sure. Blake Sims. Wasn't Blake Sims one of them?
I think so, yeah. And so, like, that just will never happen again.
Nope. Especially when the market for quarterbacks, the good ones, not in college football, $3 to $5 million.
Yep. Well, and that's the crazy thing is, like, I almost think a place like Georgia did themselves like a disservice by just trying to develop Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, I mean, why even recruit quarterbacks?
It's crazy.
If you're a Georgia,
yes, you can have whoever you want,
and it's going to be better than whoever you might get. Probably,
someone else did all the hard work.
Right.
All you got to do is find the money.
Yeah, They got Lagway at 7. Kenny Minchie, who I think Notre Dame's backup at 8.
Okay.
Rocco Beck at 9, which is a bit surprising.
Crazy that he's behind the guy who wasn't playing.
Crazy, right? And then another Iowa State quarterback, probably Rocco Beck's backup, Alex Mainsky at 10. So, yeah, a lot of, honestly, playoff berths are probably going to be decided by who gets some of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Indiana just did it. You know, they got the guy and, you know, went to the playoff. I'm sure there are other examples that are eluding my memory right now, but yeah, this is the sport we live in now. It's crazy.
Totally. I mean, and like, you know, these guys actually do develop. We write the book on them too soon.
Yes.
But like Carson Beck's a perfect example of like he got a lot better.
Oh yeah.
And like there's just going to be like Miami doesn't make the playoffs without him. And they got him, and they did a good job of developing him, and now they made the playoffs. Like someone else is going to do that. I mean, Bo Nix was another example of that. Like
for sure,
considered to be complete trash when he was starting as a freshman, at Auburn.
Yeah, and people hold that freshman year against him. What, did you see him his freshman year at Auburn? Yeah, he looked like a freshman.
Yeah, then you know he ends up being at Oregon, dicing for 2
sure.
years. All right, or maybe it's just one, but either way. This is just going to continue to happen. And like you said, yeah, if Indiana misses on their quarterback this year, they're no chance.
Back to being middle of the Big Ten.
Yeah, or
probably.
Maybe, I mean, they do have a good roster, but still, like, that's what it comes down to. So there's going to be a carousel every year, and someone's going to hit big and make it.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
There was one comment from Buffs News Weekly who asked if we think that portal entries are mostly done or if there's still more. There's still more.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Did we have any super chats? Anything to get to? Cool. I think that's all we got then.
All right.
It's good stuff. Good Monday. Last Monday show of the year, man. It's crazy.
Crazy. I will not be on the rest of this week.
Be me and my boy Jakey holding it down tomorrow. And then I think that's our last live show of the week.
Yeah.
Going to the new year the right way. Appreciate y'all for tuning in today, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Let's go Buffs.
Squad.
We all silly like the mayor.